Well, the reaction to the death of Osama bin Laden has been swift and in many cases filled with intense emotion. The Association of Flight Attendants issued a statement earlier today expressing their gratitude to the president and all of the men and women responsible for bin Laden's demise. And joining us now to discuss the details of this statement and the emotions behind it all is Sara Nelson, International Vice President of the Association of Flight Attendants. She is also currently a working flight attendant. Sara, thank you so much for joining us. This was very personal. This was a very emotional statement that you guys put out today.
Well, these are our friends, and they're our heroes, and we are so grateful to the President and all the men and women who are responsible for bringing this justice to our heroes and friends today. Flight attendants were the first to die on September 11th, and they were also the first to bring intelligence to our country to let us know what was happening and to help alert the people on Flight 93. Those crew members then, in turn, acted without any reservation to save the lives of countless others on the ground.
Yeah, and we should remind everyone that 25 flight attendants lost their lives on that day. Sara, where were you when you found out about bin Laden's death?
I was in Chicago. I had just landed in Chicago, and in fact, I'm a Boston-based flight attendant. So it was my dear friends who were on Flight 175 that ended up at the World Trade Center. And so this is intensely personal. It's intensely personal for every flight attendant who knows exactly what those crew members were going through that day and exactly what they did and the way that they acted as first responders on that aircraft. But it is so personal because we have a unique profession and we understand each other. And for me especially, and those flying partners in Boston and in Newark who lost people directly that we knew and who are our friends, this is a tremendously meaningful day. And it brings us back as if 10 years have not passed. It's just as if this happened yesterday. And we are so grateful that there is a sense of justice today, and we honor our friends every single day.
You know, it's so interesting, Sara, because after 9/11, the way people viewed flight attendants and their function and the fact that they're basically first responders in incidents like these, I mean, your whole industry sort of changed. Do you feel today as if there is a sort of closure for you?
A closure, but let's recognize that flight attendants carry a tremendous sense of responsibility every day that we go to work. We're not only first responders for any health or safety emergencies on board for the passengers or crew in our care, but now we are actually the last line of defense for our nation's aviation security. So it's a tremendous sense of responsibility. And we share the burden with every American who has been fighting to keep our country safe. We have ushered hundreds of thousands of soldiers to fight for our country, and we have been very sad not to bring all of them home with us again. They are our most precious passengers, and we owe all of them and their families undying love and support. And thanks today as well.
Sara, we've been showing pictures of jubilation, of celebration, obviously here in New York City, but around the country, really. And yet I think you're really reflecting what people really feel, which is sort of these mixed emotions. I mean, opening up really a lot of old wounds today.
Absolutely. You know, we have vowed to honor our friends and our heroes every single day in the actions that we take, both as first responders on the aircraft and as the last line of defense, but also in the way that we come together in our communities and the actions that we take there and the way that we treat one another. So for us today, this is a day about unity, this is a day about compassion for one another, and this is a day to celebrate our freedoms for all the individual expressions that we have as flight attendants and individuals in this country and around the world.
Well said. Sara Nelson, who lost friends on that day, almost 10 years ago. Sara Nelson, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.